Well, it's time. The one and only Loremaster of the mightiest tanks humanity's ever produced is finally leaning into his wheelhouse. So strap into your crash couch. The Bolos have arrived. Welcome back to another episode of A Tanker's View with me, your average tanker, Tony. This week I'm putting out my personal favorite sci-fi war machine, the Mark 33 Bolo. But before I go any further, if you guys could do the YouTube thing, like, share, and subscribe, I'd absolutely love it if you did. And as always, thank you for watching. The Mark 33, the largest, most potent war machines ever built by mankind prior to their final war with their enemies, the Mcqeulin Empire, a bipedal canid species. So yes, even in the far future, mankind will go to war with furries and stop that degeneracy. For those unfamiliar with the franchise, Bolos are multi-kiloton tank/mobile continental siege engines. Each unit often packs more firepower than planetary armies. They're piloted by a single human operator and a highly advanced sapient AI. Developed and perfected over a period of 1,500 years of near constant warfare to represent the pinnacle of human warfighting technology. To give you an idea for comparison, during the final war between the Concordiat of mankind and the Mcqeulin Empire, both sides possessed weapons capable of sterilizing planets with nanites, biowarfare, as well as the ability to collapse stars and cause them to go supernova. In 40k terms, humanity was right around the dark age of technology in terms of warfighting potential. You wouldn't have to combine several Titan legions to come even close to its firepower, and even still, that wouldn't be enough. Now, I know a considerable portion of my audience are hardcore 40k fans, so am I, but Bolos were written and designed to be as OP as possible. While it may be a gross oversimplification of both universes, the Bolo universe is essentially 40k universe without the warp. What I'm saying is pretty much every species in the Bolo universe is inimical and more numerous than human life, and we needed something just as big and as brutal to bring those filthy Xenos to heel. If you are interested in learning more about Bolos and a more in-depth look at them, please check out my other channel, the Dinochrome Command, where I've moved all of my older Bolo content and will be posting newer Bolo content as well. Now, let's get the BS out of the way. Is this really a tank? No, not really. This is more of a land battleship, or as they term it in the novels, a planetary siege engine. It's built with the sole purpose of defending humanity down to its very last, or wiping humanity's enemies from existence. Gifted with the firepower of little armies or fleets of ships, there's very little that can stand against the biggest stick humanity's ever designed and built, aside from literal-whelming numbers. Which does happen in lore, but like the inexorable might of the Imperium of Man, the Concordiat and its warriors never give up and they always fight to the last. Let's get the size out of the way so you can truly grasp the scale of these machines. At approximately 250 meters long, 100 meters wide, and 90 meters high from ground to turret top, they weigh in at an astounding 32,000 tons. That's more than 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, or 3 1/3 if you're into Freedom Fractions. And that's just the dry weight. That doesn't include the expendable ordnance such as missiles, mortars, artillery shells, etc., all of which are produced on board by natural elements that are found in the battlefield with nanotech machines. They're powered by cold fusion reactors, and this monster can hit 115 kilometers an hour on roads. Mind you, this thing is so damn big and heavy that roads means any ground that isn't the ocean or mountains. This isn't saying those aren't obstacles, but it might dial back just the speed a little bit before letting her rip over the Rocky Mountains. And to boot, if it loses any of its tracks, each road wheel has its own drive motor, so it could pop every track and still drive on over to beat your ass. It's also protected by an advanced monopermeable battle screen. This absorbs a portion of the energy fired at it, recycling it back into its own shield and weapons capacitors. Solid matter is turned into plasma, but it still retains a significant portion of its initial velocity. But I want you to note the level of disrespect this is, that it's going to take the shots you fire at it, tank them, and essentially throw it right back at you with a smile. And shit like that's going to happen a lot in this video, so buckle up. Like I said earlier, This machine is the culmination of 1,500 years of constant warfare and improvement. There is no fat. It is all lean, mean, Xenos wrecking machines, as they were designed to be deployed in independent regiments of 2040 units. Now, let's discuss all the ways this cannon will delete you from existence. It packs dozens of smaller projectile-based anti-personnel weapons around its lower third to complement its primary anti-infantry defense of 12 25 megajoule anti-personnel lasers. For comparison, a single kilo of TNT has roughly 4 megajoules of energy, and this thing is the lowest tier of weaponry. It's throwing 6 kilos of TNT at basic infantry per shot. This thing not only hits you with enough force to erase your existence from the battlefield, but probably the 6 guys you were just talking to and the building you were in as well. That's a level of disrespect I can truly get behind. Now, we talked about the lasers. Let's move up to its secondary weapons. The 20-centimeter Hellbore, which is a laser-assisted fusion pulse weapon. In grunt terms, it shoots nuclear fireballs at you at a rate of every 1 shot every 4 seconds, with the power of just under half a megaton of TNT for its size. The sheer level of disrespect again that shows your enemy is astounding. Not only am I saying just F it and nuke the bastards, I'm doing it with the pinpoint accuracy of a child's school ruler. And at 500 kilotons per shot, in terms of modern parlance, that's more or less a strategic level nuclear weapon. And that's just its lowest tier weaponry. Now, moving on up top, we've got 10 40-centimeter breech-loading automatic mortars and 4 240-centimeter, that's 2.4 meters, howitzers. So not only this thing will lob a whole effing car at you at a time, but it will toss a couple of its engine blocks just as well to make sure you're good and gone. Adding to this absolute long-range hate is a heavy VLS missile system with auto-loading multi-programmable missiles. It's also capable of firing drones from these cells if they're loaded into the magazines. These can range from interceptors all the way up to high-yield nuclear weapons. Topping all of this off, like 3 beautiful cherries on an ice cream sundae, are 3 200-centimeter Hellbore cannons, capable of firing 5 megatons per second, 2 forward, 1 aft. Yeah, humans basically said, nah, I just don't want bitch lasers or plasma guns. I want to fire an effing hydrogen bomb at you approximately at the speed of light. This thing just doesn't take out family trees. It makes the whole goddamn orchard glow. If you're on the wrong side of this thing, you won't need to see what the enemy's doing, because they'll show you with the force of a million suns, 1 for each eyeball, and if you're extraordinarily unlucky, a 3rd shot for a thorough cornholing. It won't just erase you and your unit, but everything in your general vicinity will be a shadow burn on the smoldering remains of whatever terrain used to be there. You can't even hide in space from this level of disrespect. Its range extends well into medium orbit, or roughly 22,000 miles. So screw your ship, screw your reinforcements, and your orbital support. Now, I'm sure you're all thinking at this point, Tony, my brother in Christ, surely that has to be it. Oh no, wait, there's more. These aren't landed on ships or drop pods. No. They have anti-grav systems mounted on the underbelly. Yep, they fly. Well, not so much fly as stare at gravity until it says, yes, daddy, oppress me harder. The downside, it doesn't have shields when it flies. I guess you need a bit of a trade-off, right? So I'm not sure if it would matter though, because most people are going to be utterly gobsmacked by a fucking city block just up and flying around at 500 kilometers per hour. This is so an unarmed transport ships can literally just rock up, yeet half a dozen of these things, monsters at a planet, and just scoot away. No need to hang around and deploy them around. Yeah, I said they're unarmed, because when the Bolos are racked on them, they possess the firepower of a naval battle cruiser on there for each Bolo on board. Because I guess humans never do anything half-assed when it comes to fucking up on the battlefield. Now, inside this absolute mountain of hate and contained nuclear fury sits its human pilot and its fully sapient, fully aware AI, with the most advanced sensors and electronic warfare suite available. It is so accurate, it can tell how many times you wiped your own ass after breakfast. Not only can this detect where you are and what you're doing from half a planet away, it can make 100,000 plans to kill you in the most creative ways possible and execute that plan faster than you can switch your rifle from safe to fire. Now, how do we keep such a powerful AI in check? The Resartus Protocol, or Omega Worm. If a Bolo ever refuses a lawful order from its commander, the worm activates, effectively wipes out the AI before fusing the AI core into a sphere of nickel steel. In lore, this has only happened twice. Once due to an unlawful conduct by a military officer and traitor, and the second time by an entirely technological alien adversary after Bolo had been crippled already. So, wow. I think I've done enough gushing about my absolute favorite war machines for this week, guys. So, if you like what I do, please don't forget to share and subscribe. Hell, if you want to even buy me a coffee about it, my coffee link is down below. And with that, I will see you absolute legends next time.